A man published a 9-page paper in 1950 that contained a single question. Can machines think? He predicted we'd have the answer by the year 2000. He was right. We just don't like what the answer says. The year is 1950. The Cold War has just started. The first commercial computers are the size of rooms and cost more than most houses. And a mathematician at the University of Manchester quietly publishes a paper in a philosophy journal called Mind. The paper is titled Computing Machinery and Intelligence. The author is Alan Turing. According to that paper, and you can read every word of it, it's public, Turing starts by asking the big question: can machines think? Then he immediately says something that almost nobody quotes. The question itself is meaningless, too vague, too wrapped up in how we define words. So instead of answering it, he replaces it with a game. In this video, what that game actually says, because most summaries get it wrong, what happened when researchers ran it against the most powerful AI systems in existence, and the question Turing himself admitted he couldn't answer. Stay with me. He called it the imitation game. 3 participants: a human interrogator, a human respondent, and a machine. The interrogator communicates via text only, no voice, no face, no physical tells. Their job is to figure out which of the 2 respondents is the machine. The machine's job is to fool them. Turing's specific prediction, written in that 1950 paper, page 442, was that by the year 2000, a computer with roughly 10 to the 9th bits of storage would play the imitation game well enough that an average interrogator, after 5 minutes of questioning, would correctly identify the machine no more than 70% of the time. 1 in 3 judges fooled. Now notice what he wasn't saying. He wasn't claiming machines would be conscious. He wasn't even claiming they'd be intelligent in any deep sense. He was saying, if you cannot reliably tell the difference, maybe the difference doesn't matter. That idea is now at the center of everything happening in AI. But here's what almost nobody mentions when they explain the Turing test. Turing died 4 years after writing it. He never saw a single serious attempt to run the thing he designed. And the circumstances of his death, those are worth knowing, because they shaped the test more than people realize. In 1952, Alan Turing was arrested, not for anything related to machines or mathematics. He was convicted of gross indecency, a criminal charge applied to gay men in post-war Britain. His options were prison or chemical castration. He chose the injections, a course of synthetic estrogen administered by the state, intended to suppress his sexuality. 2 years later, in June 1954, he was found dead in his home. A half-eaten apple on the nightstand. Cyanide poisoning. Official verdict: suicide. His mother believed until her own death that it was an accident, that he'd been careless with chemicals he used for experiments at home. We don't know. The case was never reopened. In 2013, 59 years later, Queen Elizabeth II issued him a posthumous royal pardon. Here's what I want you to sit with. The man who designed the benchmark for machine intelligence was, by his own government's legal definition, not fully acceptable as a person. His mind, the one that cracked Enigma, shortened World War II, laid the theoretical foundations of every computer you've ever touched, was deemed disordered. And what did he build? Not a test for consciousness, not a test for soul, a test for performance. Can you pass as human? The question isn't what you are inside. It's whether the person across the table can tell. That is a very particular kind of test to design. And I don't think it's an accident. Now, what actually happened when people tried to run this thing? The first serious attempts came in the early 1990s. The Loebner Prize, a real competition founded in 1990, offered $100,000 and a gold medal to the first machine to genuinely pass. Competitions ran annually. Judges consistently identified the machines. Year after year, the prize went unclaimed. Then 2014 happened. A chatbot called Eugene Gustman, programmed to simulate a 13-year-old Ukrainian boy, was reported by the University of Reading to have passed the Turing Test. The claimed result: it convinced 30% of judges it was human in a 5-minute exchange. Headlines everywhere. Milestone. Historic. First machine to pass Turing Test. The AI research community's reaction was fast and mostly skeptical. Critics pointed out that the test format was soft. Judges knew going in that one participant was a machine. The 5-minute window was short. And building Eugene, as a non-native English teenager, gave the chatbot a built-in excuse for every strange or evasive response. Strange answer? He's 13.
Odd phrasing?
He's Ukrainian. Was it a genuine pass? The consensus answer from researchers: no. It was a clever exploitation of the test's weaknesses, not evidence of intelligence. The $100,000 prize was never awarded. But here's what that debate actually revealed. The Turing Test has exploitable gaps. Big ones. And if a 2014 chatbot could find them, what could something like GPT-4 do? Before we get to that, there's a deeper problem. One that was spotted 30 years before any of this. In 1980, the philosopher John Searle published a paper in Behavioral and Brain Sciences. He called his thought experiment the Chinese room. Imagine a person locked in a room. They receive slips of paper with Chinese characters on them. They have a massive rulebook written in English that tells them exactly which characters to write back in response. They pass their answers out through a slot. To anyone outside the room, it looks like a fluent Chinese conversation. But the person inside has no idea what any of it means. They're executing rules. Nothing more. Searle's point: a system can produce perfectly correct outputs, can pass a Turing test, without understanding a single thing it's saying. The imitation game tests fluency. It does not test comprehension. It does not test experience. It might not test anything we actually mean by thinking. Turing, for the record, anticipated objections like this. He listed 9 of them in the original 1950 paper with his own responses. He didn't fully dismiss them. He called them the genuinely interesting questions. He just didn't think they were answerable, at least not yet. Fast forward 74 years. Now we have GPT-4, and researchers decided to run the actual test. In a study published by Cameron Jones and Benjamin Bergen at UC San Diego, the paper is titled "People Cannot Distinguish GPT-4 from a Human in a Turing Test." Researchers ran a controlled version of the imitation game using modern large language models, including GPT-4 and GPT-3.5, alongside actual human participants. The result, according to the paper, participants were unable to reliably identify GPT-4 as a machine. GPT-4 was judged to be human in a significant portion of interactions, in some conditions, approaching the rate at which actual humans were identified as human. The threshold Turing described in 1950, 1 in 3 judges fooled, appears by these results to have been exceeded. Let that settle. Not a chatbot pretending to be a Ukrainian teenager. A model trained on text, running on server racks. No body, no childhood, no experience of hunger or grief or sunlight. And here's the part that no headline captured. Turing designed this test precisely because he thought the original question, "Can machines think?" was too meaningless to deserve discussion. His words: he replaced it with something measurable because he suspected the real question might be unanswerable. So when machines pass the measurable test, and we still have no idea whether the real question has been answered, what exactly have we learned? We've played the imitation game. The machine won. And we are no closer to knowing what that means than we were when a mathematician in Manchester typed the question on a mechanical typewriter in 1950. To be fair, and this matters, serious researchers are split on how much any of this means. Skeptics, including cognitive scientist Gary Marcus, have argued publicly that large language models are sophisticated pattern matching systems. They predict the next word. They do it extraordinarily well. But there's no evidence, Marcus and others argue, of anything resembling a world model, genuine reasoning, or inner experience. Passing the Turing test in this view tells us something about the test, not about the machine. OpenAI, Google DeepMind, and Anthropic, the labs actually building these systems, have all published safety documentation that explicitly acknowledges questions of machine consciousness remain, in their words, open and not well defined. They don't claim their models are conscious. They also notably stop short of claiming they're not. The scientific community currently has no consensus on what would even constitute evidence of machine consciousness. There is no agreed test. The Turing test is the only framework that's had any traction for 75 years, and the field itself argues about whether it measures anything real. That is not a future debate. That is where we are right now. Turing left us a test he knew was imperfect, to answer a question he admitted might be meaningless, designed by a man his own government decided was defective. And we spent 75 years arguing about it while building systems that pass it. So here's what I want to leave you with. Not a conclusion, because there isn't one. A question. If a machine can hold a real conversation with you, not a clunky chatbot, but something that tracks context, responds with apparent nuance, holds a position, changes its mind, and you cannot tell it's a machine, does the difference still matter? Is there still a difference? And if you think there is, what test would you run to prove it? Because Turing's answer is still the only one on the table, and the machines are already in the room. Leave your answer in the comments. I read them, and if this kind of question stays with you, the next video goes somewhere darker. What happens when AI systems begin modifying their own behavior in ways that weren't programmed and that researchers struggle to explain? That one is on screen right now.